All right, so thank you, Shermaine, for doing this with me, and thank you for coming on the Daily CMO that came after Underdog. Please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about Cult Creative.
Thank you so much for having me, Reuben, and really honored to be a part of Underdog Con this coming festival. My name is Shermaine. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cult Creative. I graduated in RMIT, specializing in PR and comms.
Wow.
So I got an opportunity to work for Harper's Bazaar as an account manager, then later on sales manager. Back then in the day, we used to sell these things called magazine ads. I mean, website banners now. But I think what I learned in Harper's Bazaar was actually building a really strong network in the lifestyle brands, right? Kept that network, and then I went and helped my friend. I learned things about how to even buy office furniture in IKEA, to setting up HDN, figure out to pay bills, all that stuff, hiring our first intern, then exec, and so on.
For small businesses, navigating content for marketing can be time-consuming. Let Cultwork take care of all your social media content so you can focus on the work itself. This makes it easy for you to grow your reach and engagement as we handle everything from content planning, sourcing, and creation, saving you a lot of time and money on those planning and creation days because now we've done it for you.
Before an event company, I started a candle company, just selling organic candles. One thing led to another, event from birthday parties to weddings, and then my ex-clients from Harper's Bazaar heard that I was doing these door gifts, and I started doing for them, and then I just started styling some tables, and then one thing led to another. The styling and the candle became an event business. Started out pretty small. We were doing all sorts under the sun, but I realized that my heart was always in brands. I love understanding brand persona, customer segments, objectives. I'm such a dork when it comes to brands last. But COVID happened, and then unfortunately we couldn't pivot. During then, my team of events people was so restless and morale was so low. So I told them hey, why don't we start this community called Cult Creative? Because creative people is like cult, we're always like misfits.
With Cult Creative, express yourself with a profile, interact with others just like you, and get a creative job that fits you. At Cult Creative, we believe creatives are essential. Right now.
We started this thing called Cult Creative. It was just on Instagram, Creative Crush Wednesday, where it's featuring up-and-coming creatives. And then we featured local businesses. So we featured small businesses that had passion and were doing meaningful work. And then I was talking to a lot of these creative leaders on how they were pivoting in the new norm. So we were doing a bunch of stuff like that, and then just trying to hustle. And then Cult Creative was growing. So we started doing some workshops. We just started so small. We started doing workshops for creatives. Firstly, it was for creatives, right? Just to empower them and feel that they can be future-proof in the future. So we talk about things like how to negotiate your invoice, how to brand yourself, what's the one-liner, all that stuff, collaboration over competition. And then we're also doing jobs at the side. That's how we started. But recently we decided to pivot because we realized the future of creative marketing is actually a lot in creator marketing, and we already have the creators in our database. Creative people don't want full-time jobs. They want side hustle. They want multi. They just want multi industry skills.
Experience,
some of them
freedom.
Exactly. They want freedom. They want to ensure that they can work flexibly instead of just where you work, but also who you work with, what you work on, and also financial flex. So that's why we decided to pivot and do an end-to-end thing where we work with brands, we find the creatives, manage to work and pay the creatives within our ecosystem.
So basically, you become the campaign manager this way.
Yeah, dude. We are the discovery manager, campaign manager, and we're also the paymaster.
But you do it in a way that you can scale with a lot of creators.
Because we had already collected their database and we're quite data-driven, brands identify what their customer segments is. 25 to 35-year-old female, love health and wellness, lives in Penang. right? So we identify creators that are within those segments through all the
Okay.
matching lah. Yeah, matching that happens
right,
behind.
right.
So we want to mirror the brand's customer segments through creators, so it sounds authentic.
It only takes you like 10 seconds to apply for jobs on the Cult Creative web, and let me show you how. First, make sure you've already set up your resume in your profile. Click Apply Now. Your resume should appear, and then click Apply Now again. And then that's it. You're done.
And do you have like challenge when it comes to pricing?
That's a good question. So we realized that a lot of these brands actually don't even know how to go about content marketing. Agencies are so freaking expensive. They won't even talk to you if you're not paying less than probably 8 to 10K. We wanted to start small, so we decided that we'll start with 1,008 for 4 reels. And we've been testing out with even B2C and B2B brands. The whole idea is that there is a creator for every brand, and you don't necessarily have to work with high following influencers.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So the platform has evolved from getting creatives to create like creative assets for the company, for a brand, to creators creating for their own platforms about the brand.
No. So previously we were just purely a job marketplace. Graphic designer will apply for the job and then he goes off to get the job. So we're kind of moving away completely from that, no longer job marketplace, but moving towards creator economy already. So actually phasing out a lot on the job marketplace stuff and going into creator economy side.
In a way that a lot of companies, what they do is they figure out, okay, what's the problem in the market, and then they go and build a product for it, which is, not a bad way to do that, right? But yours is more like, you have pivoted along here and there, finding this and that along the way. Do you think that is something that you would encourage people to do?
I think what sets us apart compared to other KOL agencies or even other job platforms is we actually really cared about the creators and really, really want them to win lah. So the whole thing about making them thrive, and I think that's how we kept ourselves very sticky. We have over 13,000 creators in our database from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines.
So how do you do that?
I had already thought about how the brand needs to look like in terms of the look and feel. It always had to be edgy. It had to be a bit like different, a bit like, it definitely has to be cool, has to be a bit futuristic. So those were the sort of vibe I was going for. And then that really appeals to the creators because creators, number one, just wanted to feel a sense of belonging and they just want to feel safe, right? With brands. I'm really OCD the branding. I work very closely with my designer. That's one. And I think we do a lot of community driven stuff. I think a lot of the times we would listen to user feedback, try to reduce overbuilding stuff.
So run more events, get closer to your creatives, build up that way, right? That's what I understand from what you have told me.
Along the way, we discovered a market gap. Brands sought a reliable partner to find and manage top talent, to transform their ideas into captivating content for social media. This need inspired us to make a difference.
What about the customer or client, and how do you acquire them right now? What are like your best strategies?
How we started out was actually doing partnerships with co-working spaces. There's a lot of trial and error, right? We realized that actually we kept thinking that all these big brands would love us. But we realized that actually the people that love us are like the SMEs or even micro SMEs that don't even know where to start. My co-founder Lina always has this saying, right? Okay, you want to sell milk, don't sell milk to just Reuben. Sell to cafes where a lot of people go to cafes to buy coffee and they need your milk. Co-working spaces had a lot of the startups and SMEs in there. We had a partnership where every month, Cult Creative would hold a workshop that would benefit growing their business. And in return, I get FaceTime with your tenants and then we'll give them a coupon code.
So in the beginning, it's going to be much tougher, right? I mean, like you don't see the money yet, right? You don't see anything coming in yet, right? And you're just doing. Were there any moments in like your journey where you feel like, why are we doing this? Is it bringing us anything back, or we're just doing this because it feels like fun?
Oh my god, every day, dude. Cult Creative started with 3 female co-founders and she passed away March this year from a brain aneurysm. And I'm not somebody that likes to smell the roses. Manisha would always remind us every Friday to just take a step back and like, yes, we did achieve our goals this week. But yo,
Right.
look what we did this week, man. Shabine, you talked to two big clients. We squashed this problem, like we fight. So there will always be days that you will feel like, man, what the hell am I doing, man? The money's like crap. I mean, me and you, Reuben, we can easily go back to a corporate job, right? Yeah, I think why we do this is because number one is fulfilling, number two is we're building something that means, much to us. And of course, the goal is to be sustainable. To be honest, we were not profitable for like 2 years. It's a tech company, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of it was like earning a lot of money. But only the past 3 months since we pivoted into the creator economy model, we've been profitable. So it's like small steps, dude. After 3 years, only we're profitable. So, but getting there.
My gist with the agency work, right? I mean, marketing agencies, advertising, creative agencies, is that all clients, they want work yesterday, and they want this like, that kind of thing. And one of the reasons why I'm a little bit tired of agency work is because of that, right? And having to manage all these client relationships and all that. I was wondering how you handle that at Cult Creative. Like you have a couple of like projects going on and you guys are being like the campaign managers. Is it like crazy right now, or how do you manage these things?
I think one thing I learned about Tish back then was there needed to be a lot of education, man. Like brands especially have been so spoilt by us agency people. The client servicing level that I was trained with was so like over service, make sure that they renew, make sure they're like good.
Happy.
But now I realize that a lot of it is about functionality and efficiency, right? There were so many like redundancies last time, like over servicing and taking them for drinks and coffee. Did we really need to? But I think what we do right now is we actually have an end-to-end system on freaking Google Sheets, right? Where you track stuff very efficiently. It's very collaborative. You tag people, you tell them there is a deadline. If you don't do this, it will affect the whole timeline that you see very clearly on the Google Sheet. After COVID, this really changed. And I think people stopped having the whole like, hey, can you approve it right now? Like it's late already.
Yeah.
But it's more like, hey, I already sent this to you last night. I tagged you. If this doesn't go, then the other things get affected. And I think about in terms of productivity and efficiency, right? I have agency friends that started to onboard their clients on Notion and Slack. It's getting there, Reuben. We are trying, but I think the agency folks and the creative folks are doing our best to educate. And none of that, like, if you need something in 5 hours, I'm sorry, it's just going to be number one, expensive, or number two, it looks not great.
So I don't take too much of your time, Shermaine. We have gone through a lot of time here, and I guess I'll see you like next month. But before I let you go, right? Just one thing would you say, like, what is your advice, right, for creative entrepreneurs who wants to make it out there?
Beyond the talent and the passion and all these skills that we have, I think we underestimate a lot about the business and financial acumen, because actually creativity is a lot more harder to replicate, right? So your creative entrepreneurs are really creative. They problem solve, they use design thinking to figure things out, but actually making sure that the fundamentals of running a business is there, legal things, there are so many tools out there to help entrepreneurs now. I mean, there's like Zero, there's all this Zoho, it's affordable. You can use affordably, but I think do not underestimate the fundamentals of the business and ops side. It's not just about creative work anymore. It's not just about like doing a graphic design and sending off, but it's also about understanding how to get leads, convince a client, negotiate, sell yourself, brand yourself. Like there's all this like stuff that goes beyond doing beautiful creative work. And I think that's what I've been trying to do with Cult Creative, even though it's an uphill climb, like it's a lot of education, man. But I think if creative entrepreneurs can, have their business financial acumen, dude, I think it'd be really powerful.
I think you're on your way there. So I have full faith in Cult Creative. I love what you're doing. And in fact, I look at all those little landing pages you do, your stuff you do, and try to copy elements of it. So you should be flattered. All right. Thank you so much, Shermaine. I'll see you in the event next month.
Thanks, Reuben. And let me know how I can support, okay?